Hi everyone, once again, welcome to Bright Lab Tutorials. Today we will learn about factoring polynomials by grouping. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click that notification button to keep you updated on my tutorials. Okay, for factoring a polynomial with four terms, we use the grouping method. Here in our example, we have to decide whether we have anything in common, which is what you call the GCF. If so, factor out the GCF. Here in our example, we don't have any GCF. So first, we have to divide the polynomial into two groups. Okay, the first group and then the second group. In our first group, you have to factor out the GCF. 4x squared plus 20x, the GCF there is 4x. So factor out 4x. So that would lead us to x plus 5. Okay, in our second group, we also need to factor out GCF, which is 3y. Okay, so there's a negative sign there, so we'll just put negative 3y. And so what is left is just x plus 5. Now, you should have a common binomial factor. In our case, we have x plus 5 as the common binomial factor. So we have to factor this binomial factor as well. So this will be x plus 5. And the one that's left is just 4x and 3y. So we'll put that in parentheses, 4x minus 3y. So that's the factor for this one. Now, how to check if our answer is correct? We still need to use the FOIL method. We'll multiply x times 4x, which will lead us to 4x squared. Multiply x times negative 3y. That will give us negative 3xy. 5 times 4x will give us 20x, positive 20x. And then 5x minus 3y will give us negative 15y, which is the same as the given. So therefore, this answer is correct. For our next example, we have a polynomial of 20x cubed plus 50x minus 8x squared minus 20. Again, find out if we have a common factor. In this case, they're all divisible by 2. So we have to factor out 2. So factoring out 2 will leave us to 10x cubed plus 25x minus 4x squared minus 10. So upon dividing the polynomials into two groups, we have to find the greatest common factor of the first group. Okay, we still have to put 2 here. So finding the GCF of the first group, we have 5x. So what is left will give us 2x squared plus 5. Okay, for the second group, we have to get the GCF. In this case, it's 2. But since there's a negative sign there, we'll have to put negative 2. And then what is left is just 2x squared plus 5. Why 5? Because negative 2 times positive 5 will give us a negative 10. Okay, so you should have a common binomial factor. In this case, we have 2x squared plus 5 as a common binomial factor. So we need to factor that out as well. So our answer will be 2x squared plus 5, factoring that common binomial factor. And then what is left is just 5x minus 2. To check whether our answer is correct, we have to use the FOIL method. Using the FOIL method to check if our answer is correct, 2x squared times 5x will give us 10x cubed. 2x squared times negative 2 will give us negative 4x squared. 5 times 5x is positive 25x. And 5 times negative 2 gives us negative 10. Don't forget the 2 there. We have to distribute 2 to each of the terms inside. So we'll have 20x cubed minus 8x squared plus 50x minus 20, which is the same as the given. So therefore, our answer is correct. Okay, for our next example, 6ax minus y plus 2ay minus 3x. Here, we need to rearrange the terms before we factor them out. We arrange 6ax and 2ay, put them together. So 6ax plus 2ay minus 3x minus y. So this will be our first group, and will be our second group. Okay, finding out the common factor in the first group, we have 2a as the GCF. So what is left is just 3x plus y. Okay, in the second group, since there's a negative sign, so we have negative. We have to remove the negative. So this will be nothing in common, so we'll just put 1. Okay, so what is left is just 3x plus y. And since we have a common binomial factor in the form of 3x plus y, we factor that out. So 3x plus y, putting them in the parentheses, same with the one that's left, which is 2a minus 1. Okay, now to check if our answer is correct, we'll have to use the FOIL method again. Okay, using the FOIL method, we have 3x times 2a gives us 6ax. And then 3x times negative 1 is negative 3x. Y times 2a gives us 2ay. And then y times negative 1 is simply y. Therefore, our answer is correct. Okay, for our next example, we have to decide if the 4 terms have anything in common, a GCF. In our example, we don't have any. So, we have to divide the polynomial in 2 groups. Okay, so we'll put this as one group and another group. So, factor out the GCF out of the first half. The GCF in the first half is x, y. So what is left is just 2 plus x. Same is true with the other one. We have to bring out 3. So what is left is just 2 plus x. Since we have a common binomial factor, 2 plus x, we have to factor that out. So 2 plus x, and then what is left is just xy minus 3. Again, to check whether our answer is correct, we use the FOIL method. Okay, 2 times xy gives us 2xy. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. Xy will give us positive x squared y. And then x times negative 3 is minus 3x. Okay, we'll just rearrange this and then it will be the same as our given. So 2xy plus x squared y minus 6 minus 3x. So therefore, our factors are correct. Okay, for our last example, again, we have to decide whether the polynomial has anything in common. In this case, we don't have any common factor. So we have to divide this polynomial into 2 groups. Okay, so we put this as our first half and this one is our second half. So finding the common factor of the first half, common factor is n to the 5th power. So what is left is just n plus 1. since there's a negative sign there, nothing in common, so we'll just put -1. So that will give us n plus 1. Now, since you have a common binomial factor in the form of n plus 1, we have to factor that out. N plus 1. And what is left is just n to the 5th power minus 1. That's our answer. Now, to check whether our answer is correct, we again have to use the FOIL method. N times n to the 5th power will give us n to the 6th. N times -1 is -n. 1 times n to the 5th is positive n to the 5th. And 1 times -1 is -1. We have to rearrange, so it will be n to the 6th plus n to the 5th minus n minus 1, which leads us to the given. So therefore, our answer is correct. I hope you learned something new today. Thanks for watching and hope to see you for more videos.